my name is Teresita Blanco, the Artsy sister, and today we're reading Saturnastra, Chicot. This is chapter 22, part 1, The Flood. With the addition of the Sphinx, our little town was slowly growing. By fall, Amberaldus had convinced Chicot to add 250 more soldiers to our home. After a rigorous application process, the likes to which I had never witnessed before, Chicot allowed those fallen knights, retired mercenaries, and highwaymen and their families to enter town. Indeed, Chicot had predicted this sudden burst in population. He had been increasing the number of residential homes and apartments at his own expense. There were about 100 homes and 10 apartment buildings already done and many others under construction. At the time, we used to complain of Chicot's little building project, but in retrospect, he had plenty of foresight. With the wooden wall and the Sphinx, we were starting to look quite formidable. Having won an army battle against incredible odds was also bettering our reputation. By the time winter came, a large number of refugees started flooding the ports. The refugees came from both the southern and western continent. The tug of war and efforts to expand their respective borders were destroying the countryside. Towns in no man's land like our own were prime targets, and since ours was one of the few that had survived the onslaught, the people were naturally drawn to us. While Amberaldus was patrolling the ports to keep the refugees from flooding the towns, Chicot paid him a visit. I was busy at the time reviewing their rites of passage and handing their application forms to enter the town. The majority of them could neither read nor write, so it was a real hassle. When the Chicot entering, sobbing mothers started crowding behind the wooden barrier, begging Lord Ginanto to let them inside. Amberaldus said to Chicot, "It's a mess, but we should at least take in those with coin. We can make use with their wealth." "For shame, Amberaldus, and you call yourself a knight," said Chicot sarcastically. "Well, how about if we let the women and children in first?" suggested Amberaldus. "No dice. Those noble ladies are good for nothing, and the peasant girls are lazy," said Chicot. "I will not allow any unsavory characters to come and taint little Sophia. No one will be allowed inside until I have fully assessed their worth. Until then, they can rot by the riverside for all I care." "That's a bit harsh, Chicot," I said, looking up from my work. One of the applicants grimaced when she heard Chicot speaking as thus. "Don't give me that look. I am doing what must be done to protect you. And just because you help an evildoer in need today, will not stop that person from stabbing you in the back when he is all better. Doing good for evildoers is no different than feeding pearls to a swine," said Chicot angrily. Amberaldus sighed and said nothing. He knew that Chicot was speaking the truth. He turned his back on Chicot and he returned to his work. I heard Chicot say something which baffled me. He said in a voice no louder than a whisper, "I had done more than enough for those rotten bastards." A small refugee camp was made in the outskirts of town. The refugees were both baffled and angry that the nobles were being allowed to enter the town while they had to scrape outside the safety of the wooden walls. At night, some did try to scale it, but the traps that had been laid by Ambis would do quite a mess of them, and sometimes our sentries had to shoot an arrow at those who trying to cross a small little borders illegally. Frankly, I understood why they were in such a hurry to get inside. There were no large animals in our forest, and there was plenty of deer and fish for them to gather in the winter. And once a week, we would deliver grain from our stocks to the camp, so they had plenty of time to wait. Once a week, Chicot would get a large group of applicants and inform them of his decision. Most of them would be turned away. Only a select few would have been allowed to enter within. The candidates Chicot always chose were far from what somebody would consider an upstanding citizen. He allowed the unwed whore and her 7 daughters to come within, the widow and her 2 illegitimate children, and her husband too. He even allowed several runaway slaves to come inside, but not their masters. That incident caused plenty of trouble in their borders, and he almost allowed every war orphan to enter within, but only if they were younger than 8. One applicant was the high priest of Hexy, god of metal, and I was not there to witness the incident. Sir Richard explained to me that the priest was quite angry at being denied entry into town. He started cursing at Chicot and his entire He asked her what's true as she got some coin and then started making his way towards the entrance of the city. Chicot narrowed his eye and he raised his index finger to the sky and then he pointed at the priest. Seconds later, Unla, in her massive form, had pounced on the priest, killing him on the spot. Remember that they have a little, their little Sphinx called Unla? After the horrific death, everyone behaved and followed protocol. The dead priest's family was paradoxically allowed within. They did not seem too grieved at the loss of their patriarch. Indeed, they seemed almost grateful by the service that Chicot had rendered them. The more refugees that arrived, the darker Chicot's mood became. On the surface, he was his normal self, but I could feel a strange hatred growing within. It was only manifest whenever he adopted the persona of Lord Jean Antoine. In the last month before New Year's came, murders started occurring within the refugee camp. No one could say who or when the murders occurred. People would simply turn up dead, and I started suspecting that Chicot was behind those murders, though I never confronted him directly. I also did not have solid evidence, just my suspicions. The nights when the deaths would occur, I would see Chicot heading towards the refugee camp in disguise. One time I was conveniently in the gardens, and I asked him, "Where are you going dressed up as such?" "You know where I'm headed," responded Chicot. "What I don't know is why," I said, standing up from my bench. Chuckling, he said something baffling. "You are almost back to your old self, Joseph, and this pleases me very much so." "I am serious." "Lord Ginanta, why are you going to camp?" I said angrily. "To beg. If they give me coin, I let them in. If they do not, I kick them out. It is as simple as that," said Chicot. "Time, bro? Fish?"
8 minutes, sorry.
"I don't believe you. I think you have. I said before Una manifested herself before me from the cover of the darkness. How Lord Ginantua handles his humans is his own business. The nerve of you lesser beings foolish enough to think that you are entitled to anything," she said sarcastically. So you do know," I said, looking at Unla. "More or less. I was tasked to keep an eye on this little town," said Unla. "Task," I repeated. Licking her paws, she said, "Task, ask. What difference does it make?" I turned around to continue accosting Chicot, but he was gone. He had slipped away while I was conversing with Ulna. I found that little habit of his quite annoying. I did notice a large shadow heading out of the manor, and my guess was that the shade was Paola, Chicot's self-appointed bodyguard. After thinking it through a bit, I reasoned that Chicot could not be responsible. The murder stopped as soon as quickly they started. It seemed that whoever was responsible had been killed or had skipped town. A month passed and the number of refugees had gone down. A good number of those who had been told to leave had chosen to stay. They formed makeshift homes in the borders surrounding the town. The rest had either left or had been welcomed inside. Amberaldus and his new men from time to time would do regular patrols in the new makeshift town. Since the new people were not leaving, Chicot generously funded the building of new permanent homes made of wood, but outside the city. The people were also required to pay taxes like the rest of the citizens living in Little Sofia. They also had to pay an extra tax for the homes that Chicot had built for them. In order to help them become useful, Chicot opened a vocational school in the outskirts of town. With proper training, they were making trinkets Chicot could sell for a bundle. He also had the blacksmith making weapons for profit. Things eventually settled down, though the outsiders were never allowed to enter into Little Sofia, and these people eventually formed their own little guild systems and formed chapels too. The problem with the people living in the borders eventually solved itself. One day, there would have been an outbreak of a mysterious sickness. Only those people were affected since their well had been contaminated. After 30 days of struggling by the border, they had eventually succumbed to the illness. Most of our people had the desire to help, however Chicot would not allow them to go near them out of fear of exposure. When Chicot declared that the sickness had passed, we went to check the town for survivors. Half of them had died, and those that had survived the sickness had left. They were angered by Chicot's refusal to help them. After the small neighborhood was almost deserted, Chicot had it burned to the ground to wipe out traces of the miasma, and since our little town had been associated with a strange sickness, we stopped getting refugees altogether. And as before, only the nomads bothered to grace our town with a visit. Alright, so then that's the end of that chapter. Bye bye and God bless.